Welcome to the greatest of the greatest.
You're listening to Full Bobby Cast. Full Bobby Cast. Full Bobby Cast.
All right, man. Yep. So we got another Full Bobby Cast.
I'm here,
Bobby. I love you, man. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So I've been pumping out a lot of episodes. We're in February now. January, we talked about a lot about at least you had the ads.
Yes.
The FBC 2020.
Yes.
Please tell me at least one person.
I think we got a couple out of that.
Thank goodness. And if not, are we extending it? Is there a new deal now?
Basically, I just like the fact that getting the word out there and having people actually use the products. So as long as you want to give that to them, it's going to be there for them.
So FBC 2020 is now for 2020.
Yep.
From January to December, use that code. 20% off.
Yep.
You want to talk to Liz first? I feel
No.
Are you sure?
I'm making an executive. She's an executive as well, but we share in the executive.
Okay, all right. You guys are one.
Is that a word? Executorial?
I like it.
Okay, we share in those duties, so I'm making a call.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, it's been a while. We've had a lot of people on. I've had a lot of people on in this past year, but you were one of the true pioneers when we started pumping out episodes. And it's been a year of Full Bobby Cast. I think we have about 20-something episodes.
I think so.
And, good download rate. You kind of hit this, I can never say this word, niche. There you go. So I can never say niece either. I always call them niches. And then I'm like, you always have this niece about you. But you got this group of people that listen to you loyally. Yep. And so is there any shout outs? Anybody that you know that listen that you
Chris O'Connor is the one that always talks to me about it.
He's great.
Yeah. I know my brother listens. I think Tyson listens on occasion. So, I was thinking while you were talking about this niche, there was this, remember Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Yes.
They had this A&E commercial, like hype up video for Dog the Bounty Hunter. And they described it in a way that I really liked. And it was called Bizarrely Fascinating.
So that's you. Bizarrely fascinating. Bobby, bizarrely fascinating. Speaking of bounty hunter, dude, you kind of look like you'd be a great bounty hunter.
Really?
Yeah, you're built, right? You kind of have a reserved demeanor about you. You've got the jujitsu down where you know that you're going to, you kind of know what you're getting into. You check your surroundings. And if anyone tries to get physical with you, you could probably, take over that situation pretty easily, I feel. Have you ever thought about being a bounty hunter?
In passing, there was never a serious thought put to it, but I always thought it would be kind of fun to go catch bad guys and kind of miss my window for being a cop. So,
well, I don't view you as a cop.
No,
that's my bounty hunter. I feel like that's more down your road.
Well, the cop would be a step. Like I always thought, being a detective would be fun. You're not out like patrolling the streets. Right. You get to investigate. I always thought that would be kind of cool.
I don't see you like hammering a case for months and months. That's why I feel like that's why I feel like a bounty hunter is like,
okay, fair enough.
You figured him out for a week. You got him. Yeah. He's moved on.
Most of those guys like just missed a court date. I feel so bad for him. That's a dog. Hey, here's a cigarette, bro. Christ be with you.
Yeah. I was gonna say Christ be with you. Here's a cigarette. What would be your the conversation you'd have while you're like driving with them? You know how dog always witnesses to him, talks about Christ and all that. What would be your thing?
I tried to induct them into the philosophy of anarchy.
Hey man, do you want to just take
government bad? Yeah,
government bad. Even though I'm taking you into them right now,
it'd be the ultimate irony.
These guys suck, right? Anyways, this is where you are.
These guys suck. Good luck with that bureaucracy. Kick him out the door at the police station.
Anarchy be with you. Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, you're like one of the pioneers of this whole darn thing.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
And I know I switched gears pretty fast there. But
just keeping up with you.
Yeah, but
you're going from the inside to the studio.
Yeah, we used to sit at my house. One time we even recorded in my son's room, just kind of like
sitting on the hardwood floor.
Yeah, we both sat there, microphones in hand, just kind of like churning it out.
So I have this tendency to get obsessed with things and kind of fixate on them. Some things stick and some things kind of get pushed to the wayside. Like jiu-jitsu stuck. I became obsessed with jiu-jitsu, like knives, guns, stuff like that. But I really became obsessed with like YouTube and producing like good visually and audio
Yeah.
quality content. And I've been going through this phase because I've been podcasting for, not as long as you, but I started when I still lived up in Edmonds, podcasting. And it went from like $15 USB mics to, just improving the quality. And this last year, I kept intending on producing more content, but the obsession kind of took over. And now like, I feel like I'm at a position where I can actually do this and make it stick. Because the problem being, is editing sucks.
Yeah. Oh, editing's the worst.
And it's gotten better and better and better. But I kept finding myself able to record all this stuff, but I wasn't editing it, and I had no regularity of putting it out.
Right.
So I've gotten to the point now where I have the gear, I have the programs, I have the equipment to where I can edit as quickly and efficiently as possible to where I can actually be consistent with my content. So on my personal side of things, our podcast over there, we're
Just say it. Say your podcast.
Take Back Your Life.
Yeah.
We've actually part of what we've done is we've kind of rebranded it because we like the health and fitness crowd, but there's other stuff that we're both. Liz is interested in belly dance and yoga, and she knows a lot of people in those communities. And I have whiskey and guns and knives and cars, and we want to be able to kind of cover the whole spectrum. But we're still keeping the same YouTube page, the same social media stuff. We're just differentiating out our non-fitness stuff into its own show.
Well, that's good. And so one thing that I learned when I was doing podcasting first, this is a 3.5, almost 4. I think June will be 4 years.
I think we're 2.5, 3 years for us.
I was hitting it hard to begin with, took some time off, came back, that much harder to start back up again.
Yes.
And I've worked my ass off this past year, mostly this past 4 months. I've seen growth. But I had more downloads starting out when we first started. Yeah. 3.5 years ago than I do now. And so, that's one thing. So if you said that, I know we were messaging, but you're going to get right back into it. You're kind of set up now. You're
and moved. I know it's going to be a grind in the beginning. I know you're going to have those 10 or 15 listen and view video. Our focus is slightly different than yours. Is we focus a lot on YouTube. Our goal ultimately is to grow our YouTube channel. We got great. 60 subscribers, but look up. I think it's Take Back Your Life Now or Take Back Your Life.
There's a lot. I looked it up on YouTube. There's a ton of Take Back Your Lives.
I know.
And so how can we search for you specifically?
So I think it's
put Bobby in there.
YouTube.com / I'll tell you. Hey, if I give you a link, is there a way to share it on the bottom of this?
Yeah, I'll put the link in.
But I don't know. I see. This is part of the problem. Is because I do stuff with cars. I do Take Back Your Life. I do all these different channels. It's hard for me to remember.
I feel like you're a content machine. So
it's good and bad.
Right.
So it's Take Back Your Life podcast on YouTube. So if you go Take Back Your Life podcast, and but that's part of the problem too, is that that's a very, very common thing, which is why we're kind of in the process of rebranding right now.
That's good.
But if you go to facebook.com / Take Back Your Life Now, you'll find our Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTube, and really we want to focus on the YouTube channel.
And one of the things that I just jumped onto was podchaser.com, and you may want to check it out. There's a ton of podcasts out there. And it recognizes there's over 800,000 podcasts, guys. Like it's an insane amount.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And so when you go to it, and if you go to Full Buddy Cast, just search Full Buddy Cast. I've already got it in there. Please rate it and follow it.
You shared our link the other day, right?
Yes,
I did that.
Are you Bojangles? I think that's Craig Bentley.
Did mine not? Is it?
It's not there. It's okay.
No, I really went on there. Maybe I didn't click the right button or something.
You're okay. You're okay. It's I appreciate it. Well, let's generate some buzz before you go. Yes. When it comes to podcasting, they say they're the most loyal. They say listeners are more loyal than any other fan base, even sports. Really? That's crazy.
I haven't listened to Joe Rogan
crazy
since episode 1.
That people will just stick. They'll binge. They'll tell their friends about it. I had one of my friends message me saying, "Hey, I'm at the Maui room, and someone's talking about. I can overhear them talking about a podcast. They wanted to do their own one called Girls Room." And they're like, "Oh yeah, one of my friends, he does his own with all his buddies." And I'm like, that could have been me. So I went down to the Maui room to see, to see who it was. I went down there and I'm like, dude, who's talking about about my podcast? It was It was not a boom night, but it wasn't a bust night at the Maui Room. It wasn't a Mike Evans boomer. It was like you thought maybe he'd score 40 points. He scored 18, so it wasn't good or bad.
Solid showing.
It was a decent showing. There's probably about 20, 30 people there. But I didn't know when she pointed it out. She's like, "Oh, it's them over there." I didn't know them, so I'm like, "Well, maybe they were talking about me, maybe they weren't." But I appreciate the buzz no matter what. And so, anyway, what about you? So you were going to say something?
I was
Sorry.
going to say, so that the thing with YouTube is that makes it very, very difficult that I'm running up against is you can't even have your own custom URL like youtube.com/whatever until you get like 10,000 subscribers.
Oh, really?
So that's the struggle is I can't even tell anybody how to find it. So which is
just
part
create 10,000 profiles.
Well, that's one of the reasons we're kind of rebranding to make it to where you can search for us and search engine optimization. You want to be at the top of those results.
Well, the shitty thing for me in Full Body Cast is that people think it's Full Body Cast. People think it's 3 different words, and so I'm like, Well,
see, that's why rebranding's a risk. But we're still so few subscribers that it's not. I think the benefit outweighs the risk at this point. If we're going to do it, we need to do it now. Yeah. Before we put all this effort into putting out 3 or 4 videos a week every single week. So.
Well, we want to have more guests. We want to bring people on. We want to call people. I've got the equipment now to call people. I had one with
Skype. It's revolutionary.
Yeah, I had one with Roger. He was in North Carolina. We were able to talk about the Niners. We released that a few weeks ago. Okay. So
you need to get like a mannequin bust up here you could tape their face on.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And actually
see, your creative energy is one of the best. So one thing though, I think Tyson sent me a text. By the way, mad props to Tyson about becoming partners.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And now what does that mean? Does he to his role with you now? Is it the same role?
Yeah, Tyson's always cool. He always just kind of rides the exact same. He's the exact same. I mean, he's the owner now, but as far as how he is at work, it's still same old Tyson.
Is it going to be a problem with HR at Gamblin's that he knew you prior? In fact, was friends on you with social media before you got hired? Because I know Mike sent me a text when he was talking about the place that he works, and he's like, dude, people can get busted for, he's making fun of me. And I'm like, well, hopefully Gamblin's doesn't find out about Bobby and Tyson.
First, and now I got hired.
I may have called the anonymous tip line for HR. So it was cool though that you worked there for a while. Maybe Fugit. Maybe Fugit this time. Weird thing though, I saw that big photo. Had Alan Gamblin in there, had Jerry, had everybody, kids. I think was Sophie.
I was in there.
You were in there too. The far right, no Andrew. Is there some bad blood right now? Did he go home and pout? Like, do you think Andrew went home and pouted?
No, Andrew's. He
took the photo, didn't he?
He enjoys work.
He was the one taking the picture.
He just wasn't there. There was a couple key people that weren't there. So the thing about it is...
Wait, hold on. Let me go on this joke.
Okay.
So Andrew,
that joke's not as funny if you have to explain it.
No, I'm gonna go with the joke.
Okay.
They're like, hey Tyson, let's get a picture now that you're a partner. Hey Andrew, and Andrew's like, yeah. Like he's thinking like, and like, hey, you want to take the picture?
He went to the truck center by
and
mistake.
He's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can take the picture. Oh, that was my
man.
Actually, I'll say with Andrew's kind of got a voice like this, so I'm gonna. Oh yeah, I can take the. That didn't sound like him at all. Okay, yeah, I'll take the picture.
Give me another voice. Give me Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Dude, Tyson and I tried doing Boston accents the other day.
Boston's hard,
and he's like pack your car,
my khakis,
because he went over there and like. You can park your car at my neighbor's house, at the neighbor's. Like we couldn't say it.
Philly accents are pretty intense too.
Try yours.
No, I can't do a Philly.
I suck at accents.
I can do like a southern accent, like down south, But see, it's hard because when you have to jump into it and you're on the spot, it's a little difficult. But no, Andrew we didn't know that whole thing was going down with the picture and stuff. So I get to work and our finance guy's there early, and I'm like, why is he here? Well, he's unloading a bunch of donuts. I'm like, did he just like say, hey, I'm going to buy everybody donuts today and show up early? Well, then Alan walked in, and then Jerry walked in, and then okay, this is actually going down. They're gonna announce this at this point.
It's going down.
Yeah, but I don't. Some people didn't know, like people that have been there for forever. Like we just didn't know till that morning. So whoever happened to be there happened to be in the picture.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like probably Tyson was promoted immediately.
Promoted?
Yeah.
I guess that's a promote.
It's a promotion. Yeah. He here's the thing though. He sent me a text. He said, here's the episode, the full Bobby cast knife update. Bobby just used his knife. This was on January 21st, Tuesday at 6:53 p.m. Bobby just used his knife to cut a string. I said, great knife update. He goes, sounded like a gun went off as it snapped out. I said, this is going on the next Bob Pod. So
it does have quite a pop to it.
Can we hear it?
Yeah, let's see.
Can you?
Here, I'm gonna move the angle of the mic here.
Yeah. Oh, that! Wow.
Is that a pellet gun?
Let's do it again. Let's do that.
All right, one more time.
Ooh, man, you just shattered my recording equipment. So,
see, I do use my knife though.
That's good. Yeah. So you cut a string.
Yep.
That's exciting. What was it? How many strokes did it take to?
Oh, just one.
Just one. Just nice.
Yeah. I shave with it in the mornings.
No, you don't.
No, not at all.
You sit there just at night, just with your what's it, the stone, the wet stone. You're just gonna get those strings tomorrow
I
morning.
On a small bald spot on my arm. I'm like slicing paper.
You are funny.
Yeah, definitely.
So, brotherly rivalry. Do you see that between Andrew and Tyson at all? Let's get some inside scoop.
No, not at all.
Like, not at all. Like,
they get along really well at work, actually.
Do you feel like you're one of the brothers just a little bit?
No, not at all.
You don't feel like you and Andrew kind of have like this thing of like who's going to sell more cars? Who's going to... Like,
Andrew always beats me. Like, I always try to catch up to Andrew. And when I do beat Andrew, I make sure like, haha. Like, but ultimately, Andrew always beats me.
Have you got sucked into his Gucci like lifestyle of...
No, outside the wallet. I did get a nice wallet.
You got a nice wallet.
Yeah.
What was that wallet?
It's just a Burberry wallet.
A Burberry, and what color? It's like orange, wasn't it? Wait,
no, it's Burberry print, and it has like graffiti over it.
That's right.
Yeah,
how much was that?
How much did I pay for it?
Yeah,
like $70.
And how much is it like on the black market?
Like if I were to sell it, I could sell it used right now for over $100.
How'd you get it for 70? Was it a nice deal from Andrew, or
yeah,
did you find it on your own?
We worked some stuff out.
Oh, did you? Did you beat him in arm wrestling or something?
No. Andrew's much stronger than I am.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
Have you guys arm wrestled before?
No, never arm wrestled.
I feel like arm wrestling back in the day when you're kids, it was cool.
But
hard. Now it's like you pop your shoulder out.
Yeah, it's
and
no good.
Break your wrist.
There's no reason for it. I mean, the older I get, the more I realize is that like being strong and all is cool, but
so,
it get hurt easy if I start lifting heavy and stuff. And it's probably my fault for not warming up properly and whatnot, but I get hurt a lot more. So I'll still lift heavy, but I don't do it like I used to.
Andrew's pretty buff though.
Yeah, Andrew's buff.
Now, when you say stronger than you, are you talking like reps of like
Oh, he could bench press more than me. I might be able to tied with. Well, now we're both hurt our backs, so we can't deadlift that much. But yeah, we could probably deadlift. Deadlift's the only thing I could probably keep up with him. But him hang cleaning.
What about you and Tyson? Who's stronger between you and Tyson?
I've never seen Tyson work out, but I'm assuming he is.
Dude, I feel like Tyson is just like this big buff ball of energy.
Like the size of his wrist is bigger than mine. Like he's just a big guy.
He is. Yeah. He is just
coming from a 6'6", 280-pound guy.
Could you see Andrew walk into those jiu-jitsu places where he's just like, I can fight anyone in here?
No.
And then he just like they always get taken down.
And Andrew doesn't even have an ego like that.
I know he does.
But I loved when buff
He's
people, buff guys out. So they would come in all the time. So you just get.
Is that a real thing? I've seen it on YouTube
where
people come in and they get challenged. Yeah. Now, do they get invited in, or they come in and say, "Oh man, I could totally take"?
I have stories, man. We have people and like maybe they wrestled for a year in high school. I mean, most men, I'm going to make an extreme generalization here.
Yeah,
greatly overestimate their own ability when it comes to physical confrontation.
Was it you that posted the meme of guy who was with Gucci?
Yeah, that was me.
Explain the meme.
It's basically saying all these guys that, probably 40 pounds overweight go and buy a $2,000 rifle that they don't need, thinking that if a bad scenario were to arise, they were going to be equipped to handle it. And then it's like some trained person with the $400 SKS and a bunch of ammo in a tree stand. Taking them out.
And it's the meme of the Joker where
he gets hit in the face.
Hit in the face. He's like running.
The guy running is the one who has the expensive rifle, who's overweight and can't jog a quarter mile. And then the guy hitting him with the sign is the one who's
I saw another meme. I saw another meme that I thought of you. Is this true? Tax return time, people go and buy cars, and then they get repoed. That was the meme. Was that January you're riding the bus. Next, then it says February, tax return. March, you got your new car. April, it's being put on a tow truck.
I don't know the stats for how many people get their vehicles repoed, but I do know that I had done that when I was a young man. I've had 2 cars repoed.
You'd be good, like a bounty hunter repo man. Does Gamblins ever do like a repo thing?
No, we don't. I mean, we don't finance. I mean, people can get financing through us, but we're not the ones giving the loan. The banks are. I think
they could shave a lot of money off by putting you as the repo man.
In-home financing. Bobby's our guy that goes and gets it back.
Yes, I may put a little bug in Tyson's ear on that one.
I don't want to do that. You're not gonna.
I think it'd be so good.
You know, Bobby, terrible. Everybody has guns out here.
Well, that's okay. You don't need you. You don't. You're okay. You could disarm a gun within what?
I'm not Superman. I can't stop a bullet.
Well, just wear a flak jacket. I think you got it.
Aim for the chest, not the head, please.
So jujitsu people walking in.
Yeah, there's just stories of people coming in and doing.
Tell
that.
one. I just want to hear one story that you've seen live. You've seen it.
I've been so. Not all the time, but there have been times where people have come in and I've been the big guy on the mat where the coaches are like, hey, this guy's going. So say slightly trained guy wrestled for a year in high school, comes into the gym for a class at 11:30 or noon, and there's not it's day class, so it's not like the killers. There's a lot generally there's a lot of killers that come into evening class, like an advanced class.
What are killers? What is
just
this?
people who are really good at jujitsu?
Oh, okay.
So like in the day class, you're not going to have as many. You might have 1 or 2.
Gotcha.
And I'm big. I'm 6'6", 275, 280.
Right.
So these guys would come in and they just start thrashing and rolling around and hurting people and stuff. They don't know what they're doing. Yeah. So then the coach goes, all right, you got Bobby the next round. And I'm like, some big guy who wrestled a little bit, still a handful. But then, you just
it's all about the what I've been watching on the YouTube. I watched a couple. Yeah. When you watch it on Facebook video, I don't know how I saw it. And then once you watch it, Facebook's like, oh, you like these
here's
videos.
Some more videos.
Here's another one. Yeah. And so this dude, it was just all about positioning.
Well, you let them tire themselves out. So, because they're going to go, we call it cat in a bucket. So you basically get through the initial burst that they're going to have where they don't know what they're doing. You kind of hang on, you get a good position, and you just kind of grind on them and wear them out. Within about 45 seconds, you can kind of feel them let go.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of whatever you want.
Sounds hot. That sounds like every night in my house. Just 45 seconds, grinding 45 seconds. And just
that's terrible. She feels you let go, and then you're dead. The next thing you know, Travis is snoring.
Yeah.
But no, that's
I'm a killer.
Happens. But a lot of times, those guys never come back.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's good. Do you ever get someone that's like, "Dang, dude, you guys kicked my ass. I kind of want to."
That's what I did. That's happened to me.
Oh, so that's how you.
So okay, so I had taken martial arts for a while, and I had never really gotten into grappling. I knew a little bit because I'd taken some jiu-jitsu classes when I moved out to North Carolina when I was 25. My boss, it was 275, but he was like 4 or 5% body fat, like a big dude, 6'4".
Like me, okay.
And he was pretty good at jiu-jitsu, and but I was arrogant. I was 25. I was cocky, and I was thinking I was big shit. So
you've really mellowed out, by the way.
Compared to 25-year-old Bobby, I absolutely have. Anybody that knew me back then will say, yeah, Bobby might still be cocky and arrogant, but he's nothing like he was.
You got reserved arrogance now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're the guy. You're the old man who's just kind of like, been here before, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
like 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, you're like, let me tell you how this is going to go down. You're MacGruber. I'm going to get a couple throat rips in here.
I cut a string the other day. When's the last time you cut a string? So I go out to North Carolina though, and I start running my mouth to my boss. Like we were hanging out outside of work and stuff. And next thing I know, he gets kind of sick of it, and we're at his house watching the UFC card. And he gets up and he moves his coffee table out of the way, and then he just kicked my ass for about an hour. Just tapped me out over and over again, and just I had nothing. I was defeated. I was sweaty. I was out of breath. So then I'm like, all right, I got to figure out how he did that, and that was the catalyst to get me into jiu-jitsu.
And so then you were there. Like, what does that mean? Like, when they got you in, were you then there like Tuesdays, Thursdays, every day? Like, what does that look like?
He had just moved out to North Carolina as well. So we had a kids room at the gym. So in the kids room, it closed at 8 p.m. He bought some mats, and he's like, hey, if you want to train, he goes, I'll teach you what I know. It'd just be a good training partner for me. So then for 3 years, it was just occasionally we'd have a few drop-ins, but primarily me and him training 2 to 3 times a week for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys got a little bromance? You guys still keep in touch?
Oh yeah. Have you been over to my house when he's been over there?
Oh,
big buff guy, Dave.
Who's the guy that went out with us to the crystal, or no, not the crystal, the to Maui Room one day.
That was probably Dave.
He had like a girlfriend there too.
His wife.
His wife. Okay, yeah.
Dave and Amber.
Okay, yeah. I met him.
Yeah.
He seemed like a very nice dude, very good dude.
He's rock solid. I worked for him for 12 years.
He kept on sizing me up because I think he knew that I could take him.
Probably. I've warned him ahead of time.
He's a hothead. Travis, he's a hothead. You don't want that. You don't want that smoke.
Who's that celebrity you look like?
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, this guy's gonna come out and looks just like Paul Giamatti.
That's probably what he's staring at. It's probably like, this dude does look like Paul Giamatti.
He's low key badass. Just leave him alone.
So,
yeah, do you have notes about me over there on your phone?
Well, no, my brother's blowing me up because he's going to record with me tomorrow.
Okay.
We're going to start doing top 5 lists, like top 5 Super Nintendo games, and this. So I'm like, hey, dude, I don't know if we can do a full episode with that.
You remember my New Year's top 10?
Okay.
Yeah. I cannot believe I left out a movie that.
Please.
What was the one with Matthew McConaughey, the space one, where he goes to Interstellar?
Yeah.
That should have been in my top 5.
That was like top 5.
Yeah.
So you would have bumped what?
I can't
out?
remember what it was. I don't have it written down in front of me.
fine.
But one of them would have left top 5 for that. That was a great movie, and Liz reminded me how many times I've watched that.
Oh, you actually watched it multiple times.
Yeah, that and Annihilation are like 2 of my favorite.
You know
movies.
what? One of my favorite movies is that I watch all the time that probably nobody cares about.
Roadhouse.
No, I can't. I've never got that all the way through because
So great.
Yeah, there's like a doggy style scene in the very beginning of the movie, and then my parents turned it off.
It's like, but I'm on my break. Patrick Swayze throws a rag at him. Stay on it. Closes the door and walks out.
So, Limitless. I like Limitless.
It's a good movie.
What's his name?
I get told I look like him when he played Chris Kyle.
Oh yeah, with the sniper. What's
he was in that. I didn't like that movie with him and Gaga.
I could see his face.
Star is
Bradley
Born.
Cooper.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper. Yeah.
But yeah, I like that whole Limitless thing.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
That was good.
I do like that movie.
So, brotherly rivalry.
Yeah.
We're talking about a little bit. I want you to have a little rebuttal because we're getting close to the end of this episode.
Yep.
But we helped move you.
Yeah.
And when I say we, I meant Leslie and Brian.
Yep.
And then your father, who I met for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Chuck.
Yeah. Got to ride around with him.
Yeah.
He thought I worked at Gamblin's.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So we're driving. He's like, oh yeah, got this car at Gamblin's, and because I'm like riding from place to place. You didn't know this because you were setting up your IT stuff, but I, driving from one location to the other, helping move your stuff. He was like, yeah, man, it's just a got a good deal. It's good mileage on it. It's never let me down. And I'm like, cool. Like he kept on, and then like we got back into the car later
talking about some more.
He just couldn't stop. And I'm like, so I don't know who maybe he thought I was Tyson.
Yeah, no, he knows Tyson.
So I don't know why he thought it was me.
Maybe he just assumed that you worked there.
Yeah. And so I'm like,
I don't know why he would assume that.
Yeah, I'm like, cool, right on. Yeah, that sounds like
you could have just said. Yeah,
like,
I don't work at Gamblin's.
I almost wanted to say, like, are you selling? Are you selling for? Like, what if he
I want to buy it now.
You're like, hey, Dad, I'll give you $50 a month. If you talk to a stranger, just tell him how great Gamblin's cars are. So he started. So I go, cool. He goes, yeah. How long you been working there? And I'm like, I don't work there. He goes, what? Oh, I'm sorry, man. Oh, okay.
Oh, man. So IT Bob.
IT Bob. So Bobby Martinez, when you go move him, he won't have anything packed at all.
I did not know you were coming over, though, to be fair. I had no idea. You just showed up, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah, because we're buddies. But
yeah, of course.
But I thought that you would have stuff ready. It wasn't just me that was showing up. Like it was.
So the plan was to have a couple people show up to move all the big stuff, and we still had like 4 days. So cool, I'll move all the big stuff out of here that we need 2 people for.
Right.
And then we'll pack up the rest of the little stuff and just make trips over with the car and the truck up until,
Which I like the plan.
Yeah.
But when we got there, nothing was really packed.
No,
so
we weren't planning on packing stuff. We were just going to move it in
taking
room by
apart
room.
Beds.
It's like a mile away, so we're like, okay, cool. Let's just get room by room in order to clean it out.
Usually people have them things boxed up and stuff. Just it wasn't a surprise move. You weren't like getting
I wouldn't box up
out
to move a mile.
You were like kick. Okay, all right, good.
So I'm going to put it in box
I'll
here.
That next time you
load it in the truck and unbox it a mile away. Like 2 minutes later, it just seems.
Okay, I wondered why Mike showed up so late, and then I realized why he showed up so late was because he knew that nothing would be boxed up and ready. And
so IT me. I wasn't assisting because I was trying to get things set up.
Yeah, you were so
I did
courteous.
help sometimes.
Yeah, you did. I know. But when we get there, you're trying to get the playoff game on CBS to play. Thanks very much. We're actually can't watch the game. I don't know if you know this. We're moving stuff from your house to the vehicle, so we can't watch it. And then when we get to your new place, you're like hooking up the internet.
Okay.
And we're like, dude, move your shit.
So I knew it was a big playoff game. My mom wound up missing the first half. I think they missed almost the whole game by the time everything came down to it. Yeah. So I felt guilty that my mom's a huge Seahawks fan. You're a huge Seahawks fan. My brother's a huge Seahawks fan.
We didn't miss the Seahawks game, though.
Yeah, you guys didn't.
I left. It was the greatest excuse to leave the stinking moving party.
But my whole thought was, okay, I at least want to have it playing so when we walk by the TV, we can see the score. But there was another playoff game before that everyone kept checking their phone for. So I felt guilty that people were over helping me. I don't watch football. I don't even know.
Texans versus the Chiefs. It was like the biggest comeback we've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying.
In the history of the world. And
you're helping me move. I'm not even packed. So I felt guilty. So I'm trying to get this game on. I'm thinking it's going to be quick.
Here's the thing. I'm just happy you accepted and you acknowledged it. Thank you very much. I'm good now. I'm completely good.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Is that a Martinez saying?
Does Mike
because
say
Mike says that all. Son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
Did you have? See, I never had rivalry with Michael.
Because Mike said this before. He's learned that. In fact, please listen to Mike's next podcast.
Okay.
Because
not to argue with me?
What?
He's learned not to argue with me?
There's just certain topics.
Yes, we avoid on purpose.
That's the thing. It's not avoid and argue with you. It's just that there's just no fruit of just talking about some of these topics.
No, me and Mike don't talk about certain things.
Right.
Same with me and my dad. My dad's like incredibly liberal person. And we just don't talk about politics.
Yeah.
I think that's a lost art.
Just not talking about stuff?
Like, you shouldn't let relationship, and people will, well, you're giving them a platform and blah, 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 and you just, some people are beyond, like, I would never let a political belief, a standard one.
Get in the way.
A standard one. Like, if someone tells me they support, like, something, like, yeah, I mean, for the majority of people, if we're not going to the extremes here of their political beliefs, if someone's a Republican, they support Donald Trump, or a Democrat and they support Hillary, or any other candidate, mainstream candidate, I'm not going to let that get in the way of my personal relationship with them. I think it's foolish to do so.
And that's good.
You should be reaching across the aisle trying to have civilized conversation with you.
One of the jokes that Mike said was, because we were talking about social media and how he's not on social media, what was because he stopped following you and then you found out, and so then he had to delete his whole profile as a lie. And say, oh no, I just deleted my whole profile. It's like, shoot, Bobby realized I stopped. You don't comment on my stuff anymore. Oh shoot, and he's on the phone just right then and there deleting his profile.
What's funny is I never really care about how many people comment or see on my personal page. My business page I pay attention to. My personal page, it just never really crosses my mind. I've Facebook at a point for me is I find it a way to kill time if I'm bored and I want to get on there and have a spirited debate. Now, that being said, I have personally had people message me and admit that watching me over the years has actually changed their position on a lot of things.
On social media.
Yeah.
Like to
Facebook.
leave.
And no, fair enough.
To not comment on
but
things.
No, I've actually had people say they've actually changed their political position.
I'm kidding.
I've changed mine through Facebook too.
That's good. I think we've talked about all that, which is good.
Yeah.
It's a lost. I don't know if you call it an art from on my side, but it's a lost.
I was being facetious.
No, I know, but it's a lost thing nowadays.
Yes.
People changing their mind.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because that they just have to be right.
I think their
everything.
egoism gets in the way.
They also say that people, as they get older, they make up their mind, and that's kind of their set. And so usually by the time you're 40 years old, you ain't changing your mind.
I got one more thing I want to talk to you about.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you've met my friend Andy Mead?
Dude, that's crazy to me. Yes, we went to that the UFC fight.
Yeah, he was there.
And I thought you guys were like enemies.
No.
And I just friends on Facebook, like kind of like you and I wouldn't say enemies like you and Bud, but you guys don't seem to see eye to eye on a lot of issues.
We don't.
But then you guys were like hanging out.
That's what I'm saying. It's lost. It's
me.
missing. Andy, I hung out with, when I lived up north, I hung out with Andy all the time. Like, he used to come take my jiu-jitsu class I taught during the day, which is how we met. But I'm going to do a little bit of shameless self-promotion here, if that's okay.
That's your middle name.
Okay. So we recorded a podcast.
Oh, you did?
It was I'm going to have to cut it into 2 episodes.
Oh, you guys haven't released it yet?
No.
Sweet. Okay.
I am going to release it. It's going to be under the new name and the new branding and stuff. But it was an incredible conversation. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. We talked about kind of meaning of life type stuff. We didn't even get into stuff where we disagreed greatly. There was no heated. We weren't heated. We weren't arguing. But it was just a really, really fun, solid conversation, kind of about philosophy and the meaning of life and what this all comes down to and how different people see it. It's really, really great podcast. For some reason, I think that you'll like it because me and you have kind of broached that topic a little bit before too.
I'm excited. That sounds awesome. Yeah. Well, I love the shameless self promotion of Bobby Martinez.
Well, I just remembered you meeting Andy and be like, "Oh, you're Andy."
That was so crazy to me. And then when Bud came out of and the crazy thing is at the UFC party, and there's Andy. I meet Andy for the first time, and I'm like, "Oh, you're the guy that you guys never see eye to eye on social media together. You guys are friends and hang out actually?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then he went and had a smoke. I don't think he ever came back, but. But then when Bud came out, when Bud was there, he came out of the cake. He had a big cake, and he came out, and he was just dancing.
The bikini top was terrible.
That was weird. That was awkward. But it was a pro-Trump. He was wearing a mega hat.
I think he left with like 41s.
Wait, 46. Wait, 45. I mean 45. 45 ones.
How ironic.
And a mega hat. By the way, Rhiannon wants to have you on, or she wants to be on yours. Somehow make this happen.
Just let me know when. You know me. It took me 2 minutes to walk here. I actually overestimated the amount of time it was going to take me, which is why I showed up 5 minutes early.
Well, I am stoked that we got to get a full Bobby cast in. If you guys have any questions for Bobby, please message me, message him. I want to start getting listener interaction. Okay, so. I want to not only say your name, I want to say, oh, this person enjoys Full Bobby Cast.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I want you to go to, if you guys are looking to take back your life with your guys'
find me on Facebook
first.
And so by all means go do the Full Buddy Cast stuff like I like on his page.
Please.
But if you're interested, like he's bringing up Take Back Your Life and stuff.
Please.
I'm condensing that all under one banner right now. So facebook.com/Take Back Your Life now, and that'll link to our Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTube, all that stuff.
And I want everyone to take I rarely give myself credit. So I'm going to give myself some credit. Selfish self-promotion.
Shameless self-promotion.
No, this is selfish.
Oh, so okay, fair enough.
So here's the thing, guys. Listen up. Stop what you're doing. Okay. True greatness, I don't know what to call it, a legacy, is where you consistently try new things and find the best way that works. And so for me, I appreciate you guys with your patience. Bobby, same thing. Bobby's with Take Back Your Life now. Nobody has it all figured out. They're lying to you if they do. And so he's been able to take his experience in these different areas, as I have as well, and figure out what works, what doesn't. And let me tell you a key thing. Maybe early on, something didn't work, but later on, that doesn't mean it's not going to work again. Mm-hmm. So try the things that you haven't done that you think, oh yeah, I can't do that anymore because I tried that one time 3 years ago. Try it again. Whatever it is that you're doing. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're like thinking, oh, I've already tried that, it could be counseling. It could be going back to school. It could be applying for new jobs. It could be trying a dating app. It could be anything. And you've tried it in the past and it didn't work. Try it again. Okay. And if it doesn't work again, okay, you've tried it at least. What's the problem about trying, but just because you've already tried something doesn't mean it's going to work again. But then also learn from your experiences, me and Bobby have, and then keep growing in that.
Do we have a quick? I know we're running a little
5 minutes, dude.
Here.
Go for it, bro.
To me, it's all about vision, right? You're gonna stumble. So I'm a firm believer, and I have an end game, a vision that I see for my company, and it encompasses all of the. It sounds so cheesy, and people probably figure this, but Joe Rogan really has been an inspiration for me in a couple of ways. The primary way that Joe Rogan's if you look at him, everything he enjoys, he's been able to monetize under the umbrella of his name.
Right.
So from hunting to he owns a t-shirt company to On It.
UFC even.
Yeah, he owns a supplement company called On It. They built he's built this kind of empire under his name. And my vision for Take Back Your Life is we've been talking a lot about getting into a storefront for it. Mm-hmm. Actually having a place, because right now Liz teaches classes out of our house. She teaches piano out of our house. We do podcasting out of our house. She teaches dance out of our house and yoga. Right. So we're actually, our vision is eventually to have a place we can have all these things in one building, and people that we meet in person, people we meet online, people that have taken our programs that want to come for a visit, they can all come to this place where we can do all of these things. And what's better than making money off the things you enjoy and being able to help people if you really believe in your product. Right. That's kind of my vision. And I'll stumble along the way. I'll make mistakes. I've put tons of effort and time into things that haven't worked and haven't caught hold, but I keep my head down. Right. I keep grinding and I keep moving towards that goal. Right. You got to be unrelenting. Yeah. And it's a thing. I know that hard work pays off. It doesn't mean it's going to pay off big for you, but it's going to pay off. Absolutely. You're going to learn from it. Well, you've been one of our biggest supporters, in all honesty. You talked about us a lot, and and we really, really appreciate that. Yeah, you're welcome. I message you when I get excited about stuff because you're the only other person that does this. Well, yeah. On the kind of on a level that's similar. You get more listeners, but we're still doing this thing together and still growing together. Absolutely. And but people don't see, they see, the fun little video clips, and they see the fun little, an episode every day and this and that. I'm pretty much, I feel like I'm maxed out on that. I don't want to keep throwing content at people unless people want content, but I'm trying new things. But that 2-minute video took 2 hours for me to put together. Absolutely. This half hour, 45-minute episode, however long it's going to be, is going to take me 2 hours to put together. And so I love it. I enjoy it. It's fun for me. But it's all about hard. Putting the time in. Yeah, you got to put the time in on anything, whether it's working out, whether it's eating healthy. Yep. And I'm terrible with those two things. But when it comes to whatever you love, if you love fixing up cars, if you love projects, if you love family, doing stuff. Yeah, there's people that I know that work their ass off and they're a stay-at-home mom. Yeah. And it's because Liz, they're always doing their mind is focused on, they have that vision. Yep. They see what they want their kid to be, what memories they want to instill, what traditions they want to instill, what type of parent that they want to be. They work their ass off. They're driving here, driving there, setting up play dates, going to this place, making food. It's so much. My wife, she works and she's always working, but because she has that vision of her store. She knows what she wants and she's going for it. Exactly. So guys, go do it, man. I'm pumped. So Liz started, at the risk of sounding like I'm bragging for my wife, but she does a lot, like piano and she's dancing and personal training, but she's having a recital where she has to memorize an hour plus worth of classical music and play it without any of the music in front of her. And I see her struggling, and part of the frustrating thing, she doesn't see things the way I do. I'm like, what you don't understand, Liz, is people want to see that struggle. Right. So she started documenting it. She actually put out a YouTube video the other day where she's practicing this really, really difficult part of music. Wow. And you can actually watch her mess up and try to get through this piece of music. That's awesome. Yeah, it's on YouTube right now. If you go to our Facebook, I link to it, Facebook.com/Take Back Your Life Now. But I'm like, that's what people want to see. You can hear Ava yelling for her in the background. Yeah. You can hear the dog, and she's just sitting there trying to be focused and work. Right. And I'm like, people don't just show them the end product nowadays. People want to see what it takes to get there. And here's the other thing. People think they know what they like until they see something different. Yeah. And so real quick, I'm going to say this because we've got Mark coming in soon. We're probably going to do a one group podcast one. Yeah. And then, XFL came out this weekend. I heard it was a dumpster fire. No, it was awesome. It was good. People like doing high school football mistakes. No, who said that? I can't remember. I see something about some kind of like. Well, there's some shit that people just couldn't do. I get that there's execution, but there's some great stuff too. Is Vince McMahon still heading up? But what was fun? Is that they had sideline reporters. They had Pat McAfee there. They had all these different people, but it was like that guy fumbled. He's walking off the field. He gets to the sidelines.
before he even talks to his players, a microphone's in his face saying, "You just fumbled the ball there in the fourth quarter. How do you feel that's going to affect your?" And like the guy's got to give an answer right then and there. One guy even cussed. He's like, I just effing this and like that. They missed it and I
heard about that. Yeah.
So, but it's the thing. It's like I loved it. They have the gambling spreads going during the game and they change throughout the game. So like, over-unders. Well, the over-unders kind of stay, but when it comes to like what's the point differential and this and that, that'll kind of change a little bit. And it's just like, I never knew that I liked that.
Did you see the 30 for 30 about it? XFL?
The old one.
Yeah,
not the new one.
Yeah. The old XFL,
Yeah.
like where it came out. So remember like they were trying to create drama with the cheerleaders and the players and stuff?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not like that anymore,
No,
right?
no, it's not. It's just football. It looks like college football with a little bit of professional in there. With
I mean,
a little
be honest,
bit
could a D1 like good football team beat the XFL teams?
Oh,
like the best college team?
They'd probably beat. Yeah. I mean, they're pretty fresh, but some of these players, like them from. They had B.J. Daniels. They had like Kristen Michael. They have these people that you've seen play in the NFL, and now they're playing here. You kind of like it. It's.
I'm just not a football fan. I'll watch it just to check it out.
Here's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. 20 years ago, XFL didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't. It failed. They're trying it again.
You brought this whole thing around.
And this is something that is kind of working. Is it going to work
That's
again?
a clap
Who knows?
right there.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of the clap.
Is that Randy Couture?
There's. It actually sounds kind of bad. Speaking of the clap. All right, we got Mark that just showed up with some beer.
Should we stop the full Bobby here?
We're going to stop the full Bobby. We're going to bring Mark on, and then we'll do another episode. Thank you, Mark. Good seeing you. Everyone, thanks for listening.
Yep.
And this Ace.
It's been real. The OG. Can we change the name of Full Bobbycast to OG Podcast?
No.
Okay.
I like full Bobby.
I like the idea. OG Podcast.
Yeah, you could try that. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Take care.